everyone, and welcome back to another video of mine for today. I know this is my second video for today. I did try to stream earlier, but the game was not cooperating with me, so I thought why not record another video for you all. Even though I was just having some trouble now, I eventually got there, so at least I can record another video for you all. So I am back with Our Life Beginning and Always. We are going to continue right where we left off. So if you haven't seen part 1, make sure you go watch part 1 because it's going to make a lot more sense. So yeah, we'll press continue. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He had been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Eyes wide, he studied you. How did you know that? I met your dad. I'm all knowing. Lucky guess. I'm gonna go with I met your dad. Oh. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his injured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. Yep, you can't own a hill. You shook your head. While doing so, you also picked at a strand of lint on your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. He sat back with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about this strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered the hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it travelled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? Why did your family move? I'm gonna go with why did your family move? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as he asked the question. Almost like they never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. My parents, they don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave and he took me with him, and now we have a house here and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and moved his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. I'm sorry? Your dad seems kinda nice. You'll like it here. You just have to get used to it. Stop crying. That's the thing. I'm someone who's like at a new place. No matter how prepared I am for it, I'm gonna end up crying. So this one's not like the best response for me. I'm gonna say his dad seems kinda nice. He slipped his hand underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long crying fit. It must be hard for Cove, living here without his mum, but at least he still had a parent who cared about him. But from away in the distance, he heard your parents. Chance!
Cove?
Cove? Kids, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here.
I want to go home.
I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it. You have to go. Don't worry so much. Sorry, I have to. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not going to be all be fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his non-bandaged arm.
Sorry,
I still don't want to go. You called out yourself. You waited silently with him. You tried to convince him. You called out yourself. Wanting to go home, you raised your own voice. Over here! Cove's face soured. He said nothing, but his thoughts were probably pretty nasty at the moment. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you and they rushed over. Both of your mums were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Chance, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbour. I thought you might have gone off further away. No, we were just sitting in the grass. Why is everybody acting like this is such a big thing? We're okay, don't worry. Cove didn't want to go home just yet. Mommy gave Cove a small smile and then she turned back to you. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. You shrugged. Yes, I like him. He's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. That's a bit of a... You didn't think that was the right word to describe it, but weren't sure what else to say to your mums. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you.
That's a relief.
Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Chance knows this whole area so well. Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove.
bye.
Bye. Two of them walked off into the darkness, heading toward the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper playdate tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure. Can I show him my stuff? Sounds like words. You nodded, ducking your head down. Sure. Can I show you my stuff?
Of course.
Of course. Then, okay. Both of your mums laughed, the sounds overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mummy put her arm around your shoulder and led you towards the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Choose your feelings for Cove. Okay. I'm gonna go with relaxed and fond. Yes. At the breakfast table the next morning, you finished your food faster than usual. Your sister Lizzie had run out early to go play, but you stayed put. Today, just like your moms had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again, Chance? Yeah, I am.
How sweet.
How sweet. I'm so happy he moved in.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Yeah? Haha, I don't know. The bowl was entirely empty, so you nodded. Yeah. With all the exasperation an 8-year-old can muster, he looked at your bowl, empty cereal bowl, then at Mum.
Okay.
Okay, attitude kid. We see. Good job. He should be here soon. Clean up begun, and then on cue there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud though. We should get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Chance, could you get it? Wiggling out of your chair without really pushing it back, you made your way to the door. Hey Lost family, thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms had called him, and his son was here. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of the living room, and when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him, Mum and Mummy behind you and Cove looked at each other. Pleased to see your new friend again, you smiled at Cove. He smiled back with some hesitation. Let's go play in my room.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids.
See you.
See you later, son. Play nice. Your mum... you led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There were lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. Thank you. You're welcome. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. You started to feel a bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your room. You were glad for the company. It was nice to have someone new to play with. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you've collected, tucked away by your door. He took a step towards it before hesitating and pointing at it. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. I think so. Yeah, see. You gestured to the piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand.
Neat.
Neat. This is a good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice or to be like Shiloh. He actually meant it. Oh, right, I almost forgot. Shiloh is going to be here today. Shiloh? Lizzie's friend. Or like, her number one fan, I guess.
Hmm.
Do I have to see him? It should be okay. I mean, he's Lizzie's friend, not mine. But, you know. Come on, check out my shells some more. I found this one under a piece of seaweed that had washed ashore, and you pulled out seashell after seashell, explaining where you gotten each one and holding them up against the light. The big ones, small ones, pink, purple and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you even learned some of their scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for all of them. Your voice faltered a bit, but you kept going as best as you could. That one. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened with what looked like the full force of his attention. Like when you almost got pinched by a hermit crab while searching for shells, or after watching him scuttle back to the ocean where you found another shell that was almost a twin of his home. Oop. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus. But Cove hadn't been mean to you, so you didn't mind. You smiled at him every now and again while showing him your collection. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mummy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove his dad was a part of that would be a bad idea. Before you knew it, you both had been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Great. Okay, be careful. You should have asked. Great. Bust it open. We can keep looking while we wait for Shiloh. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh! Like he hadn't spoken out loud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think I like this one best of them. That's my favorite too. I like a different one best. I can show it to you. You can take it. That's my favorite too. Cove smiled at you, and you both admired the shell together. It was a giant conch with shades of dark and light orange. If you held it to your ear, you could practically hear the ocean. I found that one last summer when we went to the beach on a picnic. The two of you were still sitting on the floor, looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell that what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. You'll be alright. He's here. We can't tell him to leave. He's at our only front door, and if you go upstairs, he will find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused when his gaze locked on to the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. Do you want to break your other arm? Shiloh is the least scary person alive. Cheer up. Shiloh's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea. Let's go. No. Not the bottom two. Didn't break your other arm. Even I don't jump out of any of the windows here, and this is my house. The distance from the first floor living room window wasn't far, but you could tell it made Cove nervous anyway. He touched the cast on his arm. The wind had clearly released from his sails. I don't want to break any more bones. I don't think anyone wants to. Yeah. I don't want to see him. I don't know him. You teased him, you comforted him, you encouraged him. You comforted him. It's okay if you're worried. Nobody warned you this was gonna happen. Thanks. Shiloh peeked his head into the living room. It was impossible to know for sure if he heard what he had been saying or not, but you guessed that he had.
Hi!
Hi, Chance. And hi, Cove? Cove shot you an uneasy glance.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Shiloh. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. You have a lot of freckles. Right, I do. What are you guys doing? We're looking at shells.
Can I do it too?
Awesome. Can I do it too? Cove shrugged, then looked back at your box of beach findings. What about that one? The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach things some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else, especially if Cove was having fun. Hey, check out this scallop shell I found. Cool, right? It's a pretty color, kind of like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay.
Oh?
Is it your favorite? Not really. What is? Maybe green or blue? It might be yellow. Oh, those are all cool.
I guess.
I guess. I like those colors too. There are better colors. Not sure how to deal with the suddenly more awkward silence. He looked back at your shells. I like those colors too.
Awesome!
Awesome. Both of them smiled. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favourite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know. Aww. Where did she go? I don't know. I think she's at the beach, probably. Is she playing at her park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of a park, and he looked towards you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before he had even answered, and Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement. Really? You do too? Right, Chance? The park is fun. Why does everything sound like a question? I love it. The park is pretty great. No, the park is pretty great. Yeah, it's right at the beach, and there's a lot of fun stuff to do, and lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. That sounds like it could be cool. So, are we going to find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just wanted to check out the park out. I drifted without any direction. Shiloh finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go, and it was only fair. After getting permission from your mums, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced her mom that it was so short she should always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. "Hey, Lizzie!" Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. "Chance! Shiloh! Hi!" She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shiloh had abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was here. You wondered if he would leave too. "Who's that?" "It's Cove. He's new."
Hi.
"I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together." She gestured widely with her arms as if to present the area to the newcomer. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes through the warm sand. "Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one that comes up with the ideas." "You are?"
Uh-huh.
"Yeah, I am. Who else can handle this job?" "Lizzie is the oldest, by a lot. My mom said your Chance's age."
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits." "What about the other kids?" "Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh is just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of the ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth."
Oh.
Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. But something in his eyes shifted and he looked back at Lizzie. "What kind of old people? Like mums and dads or grandparents?" "Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids." "Why? We didn't do anything." "Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that. You're gonna upset him." "Yeah, they're really bad." "No, that one. Stop it." You interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't stop crying again. He sniffled, his full head creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Chance in school. You'll see a ton of kids there once summer is over." "I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end." Shiloh looks down at the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversations with Cove. "I like summer vacation a lot too." After all the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort at how weird she thought Cove was, at something else entirely you didn't really know. But she laughed, face scrunching up.
Okay.
"Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put your feet up, and get used to it." He offered him a small smile, and that, at least, looked to reassure him some. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Shiloh, and on some days, when she was in a bad mood or busy, you even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of the everyday life, the way sun and lunch and the beach were. During your first summer together, you really liked Cove. He was a fun person to play with, and he seemed to like playing with you too. Of course, those were just the start of things. So, I'm gonna save it there. Yes, save. Now, I wanted to just get that part out the way, so then I can show you this stuff afterwards. Now, I don't remember if you guys saw in the first one, in case you haven't seen the first one for some reason. It says you don't have to do these things in order. You can do them in any order. So it doesn't matter. You can just do them in any order that you like. So I can do Ghost first, then Long Day, then Runaway, then Fireflies, and then Library, then Grown Up, and then Sleepover, and then Shopping. I can do it in any order because it doesn't matter, because it's going to be, they're all different things that can be done in any order, and it doesn't affect the story in that moment. Yeah, so I just thought I'd get that little introductory thing out of the way, and then I can show you these things in the next one. I was thinking that I would do 2 per episode. Yeah, I was just thinking I would do 2 in each order. So I might do like one non-DLC one and then a DLC one, but we'll see. Yeah, but I was thinking of doing 2 per episode then. Yeah, I'll just quickly save it again just in case. Yes. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!